Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of season 6. If you've just joined, I'm Robyn from Added Tired Witch everywhere, and I'm joined by the beautiful, the powerful, the unstoppable, and the definitely sick Maria of Magic with Maria everywhere.
Wow, all the titles. Unstoppable,
All the titles.
yes.
I'm unstoppable.
Completely.
You're unstoppable, but I'm also going to keep you humble, which is the fact that you're sick again. This woman is dying.
Yes. I think we just keep swapping. Like, you'll be
honestly,
sick,
like it's getting to the point of like actual ridiculousness. I'm sick.
You should look outside right now. Spring has sprung in South Carolina, and the pollen looks like snow. Like,
Really?
literally, when you view it in the sun, you can just see it drifting.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. That's actually disgusting. It's pollen cum, and it's coming. As a reminder to everyone that we are going to be in Chicago June 12th through 14th of this year for the Windy City Paranormal Festival. Get out there, join us. We're going to have a booth. We're going to be doing tarot readings. We're going to be doing pots for group spells, and we're going to have some physical items for sale. And then we're also going to be on the main stage chatting, being cool, being sexy, being fun, real, tangible. You can reach out and touch us. Also, please don't touch me. I realize
boundaries.
As I'm saying it, that I don't want that. Don't touch me. But you can ask.
Yeah. And guys, don't forget to join us for our class this month, which is on March 29th, and it's with Siri Vincent Plouffe on Queering the Runes. We're very excited about it.
We are very excited. Good. And I should have, by the time this episode comes out, classes available for sale, like as individuals. So if you're not wanting to join the Patreon full, like as a reoccurring thing, but you are interested in the one class, I should have our past classes done by the time that this episode comes out, and the upcoming class will be sold individually as well. So
yeah,
get at us, guys. And don't forget that if you want to send us a story for Coffee Talks, you can leave us a voicemail at 351-207-0799. It's got a 3-minute cap. Just call us back. We'll smash them together. Or you can send us a written version of the story at submissions@coffeeandcauldrons.com, or head to our website, coffeeandcauldrons.com, to fill out our submission form. So get at it. Let's do it. If you've just joined us this week, every week we talk about upcoming lunar phases and how you can utilize those in your magical practice. So the nearest one to us is both a new moon and a partial solar eclipse. This is going to be on March 29th. It's the new moon in Aries. And this is one of those new moons where it really is dependent on where you live for if it's going to be on the 29th or the 30th. So do make sure to be checking your astrological calendars, guys. See what percentage the moon is at. Because where I live, which is on the west coast of the United States, in California, it goes to, it ticks over at like 11 p.m. So really make sure to look at your astrological calendars, because you might be the 30th as well. Now, that being said, the new moon in Aries is a very good time for finding your voice. Aries, as a astrological sign, are the most confident people I've ever known in my entire life. They just are, and they are very good at speaking their truth and being very confident about what they have to say. Now, that being said, because I seem to find myself surrounded by Aries, I'd like to humble all of you motherfuckers really quick and say, you might be confident, but that doesn't make you right.
I'm always right. What are you talking about? We're always right. Hey, cancers are the same. That's why we get along.
Excuse me, cancers are always right, so I don't know what you're fucking talking about right now.
It's not that we're both defensive astrological signs.
This is the Aries in her. It is jumping out. She's attacking me. I'm under siege. And she's wrong. Again, she's found her voice and she's wrong about it. That's crazy.
No.
Now, that being said, I would utilize this particular new moon to do confidence spells, to find your voice. Perhaps this is something that you are like, you're in school or you're at work or whatever, and you really have got this new idea, or you've been researching something really well and you are struggling to find that voice within yourself to advocate, to speak out, etc. This is the time to utilize magic that is going to find you that voice, to give it to you, to make you be able to speak your truth.
Yeah.
What do you think about this new moon, other than the fact that you're going to be so up your own ass about it?
I am. Guys, just like Robyn says every Cancer moon, like, this is the best moon ever. No, I really agree with everything you said. I really think doing confidence spells or anything that, like, or even like a spark to get you going. Like, if you're struggling like with a project or anything and you just need like that, you need to reinvigorate that spark, and that can even mean like romance. Like, this would be the new moon to put those, like, hey.
We haven't had a horny episode.
If you need some fire.
Is this your way of bringing the horniness back to the chat?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, if you want a little bit of a spark of whatever that means to you, this would be a good new moon to put, like, you know, do a fire, like do something with candles, like do something.
Yes, fire. Don't burn your house down, but fire.
But yeah, go do some confidence spells. Maybe some saucy spells. Go have fun.
Yes.
Celebrate me and my birthday, my upcoming birthday. It's coming. So every podcast we go over some tarot, and you like other episodes we have gone over like individual meanings, and other seasons we've gone over like whole sections in tarot, like the aces, the queens, what is the major arcana, like what is the major arcana, what is the minor arcana. And then last season we went over like themes. This year we decided to do like a shuffle and draw, just to see what pops out. So Robyn's doing the shuffle and draw this time. Let's see what she gets.
So this week I am using the Lovely Omens tarot deck. Everybody loves this deck. They always have. Every time I post about it, they're like, "Where the heck did you get that?" Unfortunately, the author or the illustrator of it no longer makes this deck.
So lame.
She actually, like,
I should have
removed herself from the internet. Like, and I heard she might have died. I don't know if that's true. Like, her and I were not friends, but that's what I heard. So take from that what you will. But if you see any websites out there that are selling the Lovely Omens deck, it is my understanding that those are not real. Those are fraud decks. Those are, or, you know, scammers. So that being said, our card today is the King of Pentacles Reversed. Oh gosh, I'm like showing the camera like we're gonna be on camera this week. This is ridiculous. Okay.
Show it to me, Robyn.
Show it to me, Rachel. Oh my god, please, Rachel. I can't. I am like way too internet ruined. Anyway, okay, so the King of Pentacles. When we are looking at the King of Pentacles, when it's upright, we're seeing financial success. We're seeing kind of having all the things that make us feel safe around us. We've kind of built up this empire of safety. Usually that is financial, but it is anything that's earthly as well. So our tangible things, your home, your finances, you know, anything that's going to make you feel safe in your life. Now, that being said, when it is in reverse, it tells us that we think we're there. We think we have all these things, but we actually aren't. And we need to take a little bit of a humble pie card, because when this card comes up, he's kind of an arrogant asshole. And being it's a lot like the Tower card, where it's like, well, you might be the king, but everyone can fall.
Mm-hmm.
And this card coming up is really just kind of a humble pie when it comes to the things that make us feel safe. Yes, you might be feeling safety, but it is a reminder that that safety is not guaranteed. It's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily something that you have worked hard enough for or whatever, that it is like, a done deal. So
Yeah.
make sure that you are continuing to work, continuing to put in that effort, and kind of just having a little bit of humble pie. Don't be an arrogant prick.
Yeah.
What do you think about this card?
So for me, like when the kings are upright, like they showed like our specific kingdoms in our life. Like, and I mean kingdom, like where we're laying the groundwork for the future and how we are like adding value to these specific kingdoms so they benefit us for years to come. Um, and it's just, it's putting in that time and effort to see like the longevity of, of what we are creating. Now, for the pence specifically, it shows like where we're actually putting our time and energy into, like when it comes to goals and when it comes to our finances. And so, like, when he's reversed, to me, it can show a couple things. One, it can show that we're completely rebuilding. Our kingdom is wrecked. Like, the future
Hmm.
that we were going towards when it comes to finances and goals just did not work out. And now we're
Hmm.
kind of needing to reimagine what we want it to look like when we're moving forward. Like, it's a complete restart. It sucks. And we're cleaning up, like, the wreckage and all that. As you said, it's kind of like a tower-like moment. And
Hmm.
then secondly, it can show like you're not doing anything for your future. You're not putting in that time and energy like that will benefit you for years to come. Instead, you might just be focusing on the short term. You're focusing on like
Hmm.
I'm going to do this tomorrow, but it's not really going to like lead to anything great in the future. You're
Hmm.
probably going out there and spending money you don't have like on things
Hmm.
that don't really matter, and just like the goals that you have are kind of like short-sighted, and they're
Hmm.
really not going to benefit you in the future and create that thriving kingdom. And I really view the kings as like laying boundaries where you need to lay boundaries and expanding where you need to expand. And it's just like looking at, if something is stagnant in your life, like you need to think about, does there need to be do I need to lay boundaries here where like eventually I need to stop and venture somewhere else, or do I need to
Hmm.
expand it and see like where you can make the stagnancy end? Does that make sense?
Hmm. It does. It totally does. Yeah. I think it really, what it comes down to is we're both viewing this from the fact that if you get the King of Pentacles in reverse, really it doesn't matter what the context is. It's not great. It's not
Mm-hmm.
great. And there's some self-reflection that is needed here, because whether you're restarting your kingdom, as Maria said, or you're taking a slice of humble pie because your ducks aren't in order, um, it's not awesome. We got
Mm-hmm.
to do some work.
Yeah. Yep. Agree.
So this week, Maria and I thought that we would kind of dive into finding a deity. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and tell you guys like who you should work with. That's not our goal here. Instead, if you are somebody who is working on a witchcraft practice and you're like, I've been curious about this, or I'm thinking I'm ready to expand into some sort of devotional work that isn't just, the grand universe or similar, kind of what that looks like in our opinion, and what, I don't know, how we can help you with that. um
Yeah.
so that being said, Maria, what do you think are some of the benefits of working with a deity?
So some of the benefits is definitely like, so help with like spell work, obviously. Like, it just adds that extra element of it's kind of like adding a crystal to a spell. Like, obviously deities are way more important, have way more energy
Way more
behind them.
nuance than that.
Yeah, way more nuance. But it does add that extra benefit that you have like a guide. You have someone who is like looking out for you and adding that additional energy to the spell. Like you would like a
Yeah,
coven, you know? They kind of like act like an
totally.
additional thing. And then there's that whole like deeper spiritual connection, you know, like as humans we want to believe in something.
Mm.
And then there's that whole like deeper connection that we can, you know, have with a deity. Like, you know, as humans we want to believe in something, and believing in something is beautiful. I mean, not everyone who works with deities actually believes in them. I think that's a whole like other conversation. Like there's that whole animism aspect where,
Hmm.
you know, like you put a deity's name towards like, you know, there's the deity of the sky, the deity of the earth, like
Right.
there's that whole animal. But and then there's that whole like ancient wisdom that comes with deities. You know, their stories and their folklore and their mythologies like tell us like, you know, about the human experience. And so like through their stories we can find pathways in our own life and spiritual practices. How about for
Yeah.
you?
So for me, I'm going to have kind of a hot take here, which I know a lot of people are not going to agree with, and I'm totally okay with that. This is my belief. It's okay if yours does not agree with me. Um, but I'm a really big believer in the fact that witchcraft is another form of a religion without dogma, because you have to have the same kind of faith and dedication that one has within like devout religions to see the benefit that you want to. Um, eh,
Mm-hmm.
giving it another word, giving it another phrase, I guess you could say, is that I would compare witchcraft success to Christian heaven. If you put in the energy, if you put in the work in Christianity, if you know, say sorry to the priest enough or fucking whatever, you go to heaven. In witchcraft, in my opinion, the more you have a devotion, the more likely your spell work will be successful. That's our heaven,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm being extremely, you know, broad brushed with that. And again, if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Like we can be wrong. We can disagree about this one because it is all down to faith, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
when you are working with a deity that aligns with your own personal beliefs and your own practice, that gives something for you to have the devotion towards that aligns with that kind of religious undertone, like I'm trying to explain, possibly
Mm-hmm.
poorly. And so that is yeah, that is where I'm coming from with that. I think it's really beneficial. I think a lot of people kind of fearmonger, especially on the internet, about working with deities, and they also give these really like fantasy ideas about working with deities, which is actually my not stirring my cauldron this week. So I'll get into that later. Um, well, I guess I can touch a little bit on it now. Essentially, giving people unrealistic ideas of what it looks like to work with a deity is crazy.
Yeah.
um,
No. I think
it's
people
really
put like really
misrepresentative, and I think it's harmful.
unrealistic. Yeah, I think you know, a lot of witches come from, you know, Christianity and like religious trauma and stuff like that. Not saying that there aren't Christian witches, there are Christian witches, but
Right,
and they don't know how to make their spiritual religious practice in a way that is like that works for them personally. Instead they like
right,
work so much like at making it such a huge component of their life and practice that eventually they burn out, and then they like, you know, and you can even reach that spiritual psychosis point like for some witches that like put that make it too much of their life. So you have to
right,
like you guys, like you have to be careful, like all everything in moderation, and know like when you're reaching a point where you're making it too much of a focal point in your practice and your life. um but I do like your opinion on like how, you know, even witchcraft is a devotional act. It is a basically it is a religion because you are putting that time and energy into something that's bigger than you.
it's religion
Like
without dogma. We
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
have these, dogmatic texts. And so I think that's why I think a lot of people really hesitate to call it a religion. I don't want to get into
Mhm.
that like too much. I think if this is a topic that you kind of want to explore, I really recommend you guys look at some of Thorn Mooney's videos on it. Thorn has, I believe, don't quote me, Thorn either has or is working towards a PhD on the topic.
Mhm.
And so it's actually her opinions on it align a lot with mine, but also are just really interesting and smart. And I don't know, check out her stuff.
Yeah.
But it does align a lot with my own personal beliefs on a non PhD level.
No, and I think it's important to talk about, like, I know this isn't like on our me and Robyn have like a whole thing that we like go through, like little prompts to do, but people also don't realize that there's a
Our
ton of like
agenda.
different like deity like viewpoints out there, like how people view deities. And I kind of touched on that with the animism point of view, but it's like, some people view deities as divine beings walking in the other world. Other people view them as egregores. Other
Mm-hmm.
people view them as the animus, and other people
Mm-hmm.
just view them as archetypes to
Mm-hmm.
work with. And other people view them as like part of a singular divine entity. Like there's so
Right.
many different viewpoints, and no one's right, and no people are right, but no
Well,
one
I'm
is
right.
like wrong. No, I'm but there's no one out there who is like wrong. You know what I
Right.
mean? And no
Right.
one's like
And
very,
anybody who
very
and anybody
right.
who tells you that they know everything about this sort of stuff, that's a massive fucking red flag.
It's
They can
yeah, that's
be
like the red
extremely
flag of
they can
fraud.
be extremely knowledgeable about a given deity for a whole plethora of reasons. But nobody is ever going to know everything about everything, especially considering the fact that most of our folklore is from 2,000 to 8,000 years of spoken word passed down. And I don't know if you
And
guys have ever played the game Telephone. uh,
well, not only that, especially like Greek mythology, like the whole telephone thing is completely right because you'll have five different philosophers telling you the same story.
yeah.
And not only that, people don't take in consideration like those stories also have, political motivations. Like they
Mm.
had things,
They still do. You
yeah,
take
they still
our
do.
modern day. You take our
Absolutely.
modern day religions and take Christianity as like the greatest example of that. So many
Mhm.
times the Bible has been rewritten, even in the last 100 years, to fit political narratives because religion and spirituality is always going to be political. And if you don't think that it is, then you are living in a delusional bubble of chaos and crazy.
Yeah.
You're
Uh,
living in the river of denial, baby.
but so what are your tips on like finding one? And guys, I'm so sorry. I always sound like I'm on the verge of coughing, and I literally am. So if you like hear me get all
She's literally
squeaky,
so
that's me
sick. She has
about to
COVID.
like mute and like cough my head off. So that's probably why I sound all off. But anyways, yeah. So so how do
You
you
poor
find one,
thing.
Robyn?
Well, I think that this is a layered question with a layered answer. So I think a lot of people get really excited about the idea of working with deities, and they're like, I really know I'm familiar with Diana, so I must be getting called to Diana, let's say. But I also really like Persephone, and I also really like hell, and I also like, and it's all scattered, it's against all of these different traditions, all of these different backgrounds. A lot of people are going to tell you to look into your own ancestral background to find your deity, but I don't actually necessarily think that that is the most helpful thing unless you're working with relatively modern folk saints. Not to say that you shouldn't do that, but we start to tread waters there of getting a little what's the word I'm looking, blood quantum theory on things that are, like I said, like 8,000 years old. uh, uh
Well, I do. Oh, a minute. I do think that it's okay to look at your
No, I do too. I also
ancestry,
do too. But what I'm
just
saying is that
because
I don't
that
think that
layer
that
with working with
is,
guides.
yeah. I what
Yeah.
I'm saying though is I don't think that it is exclusionary to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I
Oh yeah,
say
there's
that,
more
when
benefit. Yeah.
right, when I say that, I am not recommending, before somebody takes my words out of context, that some white girl from Connecticut should start working with like African deities and gods.
Let's not do that,
Yeah, let's
guys.
not do that, guys. Like, let's have some critical thinking skills and know that that is not what I'm saying when I say this. I am not suggesting somebody work on a closed, practice and reach it. I'm not saying that. Let's use our brains. What I'm saying, however, is that I do think that you can expand outward from just
Mm-hmm.
necessarily, like, let's say you come from an Italian heritage and so you feel like you have to only work with Italian deities or saints. It would be saints. I don't necessarily think that that's true, because I think if you're going to work with saints, you
Mm-hmm.
also have to have a baseline belief in Catholicism, and that might not be you. Why
Mm-hmm.
you cannot work with saints if you don't believe in some kind of god. Like it just it doesn't those that's it's oil and water. So I do think that you can expand, but what I will tell you is I don't think that you should be working with a Nordic god and a Greek god and a folk saint all at once. Like that's crazy. These things are requiring too many extremely varied relationships, too different. Let's pick
Mm-hmm.
one and stick with it. And if later on, after a couple years, you want to expand, great. I also feel like in finding one, it's okay to say, you know what, I thought I was called to this deity. I thought this is something I wanted, but this relationship isn't going to work out for me. And just like any respectable adult in a relationship, you break up with them in a kind
Mm-hmm.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree with what you said about I think people go in way too hard too fast, and you really need
Hmm.
to devote time learning about the deities and their history so you can build that base relationship.
Yeah.
But I
I
definitely
also, sorry, good.
sorry. Oh no, go ahead. I have a whole
I thought
thing
you were
that I
going to
want to say.
cough, so I was going to talk over you so that way you wouldn't mask it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I was trying to be
It's
helpful.
gonna
I'm
happen
sorry.
soon. It's gonna happen soon. Um, but yeah, so let's be let's not appropriate closed practices like hoodoo, voodoo, Native American practices, native practices in general, and that
Yeah.
includes, a lot of places around the globe.
I will say that I think that all relationships are like spiritual relationships are just like actual dating. For some people, and actually, I'm going to say the majority of the populace, what works for them is monogamy. So it might be that you
Mm-hmm.
just work with one deity. For other people, dating is, or not dating, I'm sorry, having deity relationships is like polyamory, and you're gonna have a couple of them, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
have these healthy co-functioning relationships. But you don't start off a polyamorous being polyamorous by being like, and now I have 6 girlfriends.
Yeah, and
You have your
and not
first
only
partner, and
that,
then you date around, and you know what I mean? It's takes time.
yeah, not only the polyamorous thing, which totally makes sense, but also it'd be like polyamory where you're long distance with some and you're close with others. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because what's
That
great
can
about
work for some
working,
people, but
it
you have to
can,
figure
it
that
can,
out.
but with mythology and stuff, it's most beneficial to work with with deities in the same area because their mythologies are all connected. So when you're learning about one, you're learning about others at the same time. So you're once again building that very strong foundation. And as Robyn said, that doesn't mean you can't venture, but creating that solid foundation and it helps you if you do want to expand within that certain pantheon. But one thing I did want to discuss is there's always this back and forth to be to choose and to be chosen.
Mm.
um Guys, you can have either. One is not better than the other.
I think that the
Like,
internet has given people false ideas that a
yeah.
deity will reach out to you. And that does happen. I'm not trying to be dismissive of
Mm-hmm.
that or those people's very real experiences. What I'm trying to say is that there is like God spousing, first of all, if you don't know what that is, those people need help. He has his like if you just take mythology in, it is literally never once ended well for a human being who spoused a god. So let's just start with that. But secondly, this god spousing, people on the internet have realized, oh, that's not very good, but they want to repackage that same feeling. And so
Mm-hmm.
they give these like grand illusion, like crazy ideas that I work with Artemis.
Well,
And
that's part of that
Artemis
spiritual
comes to me.
psychosis.
Exactly. And that
Yeah.
is, woo, that's a red flag.
Yeah. And
That's,
I really think, like, and it doesn't just because I know a lot of people who are like, I really want to work with this deity. And it's like,
mhm,
but they feel like they have to be chosen. So they wait to work with them. But sometimes that calling to work with the deity is enough because you have that drive to learn about them. And maybe you're
mhm,
connecting with their energy for a specific reason. Um, like you would be you know, like let's say that someone wants to work with Hecate. A lot of new witches want to work with Hecate. But that makes sense because Hecate is the goddess of witchcraft. Of course, like a
right.
new witch will want to work with Hecate. Um, but you can't like wait for her to, be like, I
Kiss you on the
choose you.
lips
Yeah,
and
go ahead and
go,
start researching her. Build that base foundation. And then,
yeah,
when you're like, I'm going to be respectful to you and I want to learn your story, then maybe she'll be like, okay, let's throw out some signs.
let's
You know what I
let's
mean?
try this. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just think that people we gotta stop letting the internet like lead our, and I know it's so ironic because we're on a podcast which is on the internet, but we have to stop allowing short form content to shape our viewpoint on something as delicate as spirituality and spiritual beliefs, because what that
Mm-hmm.
does is it creates a really unrealistic and really unhealthy relationship with witchcraft that makes it so
Mm-hmm.
that way we are constantly in a state of frustration because we're not hitting these marks that people are saying we should be hitting on the internet. And when we're not hitting the marks, then that makes us feel like, well, maybe my spells aren't working. And the number one thing in spell work
Mm-hmm.
is knowing your spell is going to work before it does. And if you start doubting yourself, you got a self-assured destruction bomb happening. Um yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things that I think that the internet is such a beautiful tool in place, but also
Mm-hmm.
people are so desperate to be the best and be, oh, I'm more unique than you, and
Authoritative. They want to be
yeah,
authoritative, and unfortunately, like, guys, like, just like you have free will when it comes to like working with deities, and like, but you also have free will to listen to like different voices, like take in what resonates,
including your
leave
own.
what doesn't.
Trusting your own
Yeah.
intuition and gut that you're being called to something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Like, as you said, the short for like letting short-term
Short form
content
content
like
is
tell
also
you
great. Like, it
everything.
is great. It is great. There
It's
are, like, I
bite-sized
mean,
snacks.
we make short form content. I'm not sat here saying, oh, if they're a short form content creator, it's no good. That is not true. And I would actually say that 98% of the content in short format
Mm-hmm.
is great. Whether that it's because it's entertaining or it's informative or it's just cozy vibe that you like.
Yeah.
98% of it I would say is amazing. But that 2%,
Mm-hmm.
they've gotta fuck off.
Yeah. And guys,
uh,
algorithms exist, so if you get a video that says this god is calling you, you're going to get another video that says that same god is calling you. And you're
especially
going
if
to
you
get another.
pause,
And you're going to get
you
another.
watch it, you like it, you interact with it. Or, as some of the dumbest people that have ever lived have commented on our posts recently, if you fucking comment on it, the algorithm is going to think you want more content like this, and it will continue to feed it to you.
Yeah.
Let's use our heads, guys. Critical thinking. We've got it. You are smart. As I tell my 3-year-old, you are smart, you are strong, and you are capable. Okay? Mm-hmm. You are all those things. So let's utilize it. Let's utilize all of our skills and not fucking comment on videos we don't want to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do you have any parting advice for people when they are wanting to build a relationship with deities?
Actually, yeah, I do want to say something. Guys, this is going to be a big hot take. It's going to be a hot take.
Love that.
You don't need to have like an altar for each deity that you work with. And it doesn't have to be a grand thing. I
totally agree with you. I totally agree. I don't think that's a hot take at all.
It can be small, as indescript as you want. It could be something. You could have something for a deity, multiple deities on your main altar, because you know what? Some of you guys do not have space for multiple crazy altars, and that's fine.
Here's the deal.
And also, like, you don't have to work with a deity like year round. Especially, let's say you're part of, you do the Greek pantheon. There's certain deities that you honor specific times of year, which means you don't work with them every single day. You don't work with them every single week. You don't work with them every single month.
Yeah.
This is why you don't make it like a big major part. The Greeks didn't, like, when they were like really, really venerated. And so, guys, like, take it slow. Actually research and learn things before you just relax. You don't have
literally
to make
just
it, like,
relax.
This huge component.
Take a chill pill. Literally just relax. We love you so much, but you guys have new people have got to relax. You got to, because what you're doing is you're putting way too much pressure on yourself. You're putting too much pressure on the relationship. Again, treat it like you're dating. If you're like single tomorrow and you go on 7 days with 7 different people, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, let's get married tomorrow to all 7 of them. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Like, people would be concerned about you, and that is no different when it comes to building relationships with deities. Polyamory works for some people. Polyamory doesn't work for other people, and they're more monogamous. Sometimes people are monogamous that have a occasional open relationship, and they've got little short flings with certain people or deities because it works for them right then.
And along the same lines of relationship, like with deities too, consent is a 2-way street. If a deity says no, they mean no.
I like this metaphor of dating. This is good.
Yeah. And recognize that a deity's advice may not align with your path or how you want to navigate things. And that is also consent. You don't have to consent to everything a deity says. Like, sometimes working with a deity, like, for a specific issue doesn't make sense. Like, if you want to get your crap together and you don't want to, like, completely rebuild stuff, I wouldn't say go work with Loki. Loki is going to make you destroy things and then rebuild it from the ground up. Like, just let's do things smartly and wisely. Not, like, think that you have no say over how things go.
Yeah. So, Maria, what's stirring your cauldron right now?
Oh, let me tell you. I can tell you that it's not coughing every 10 seconds. Yeah. But I will say, like, as a chronically ill person, you're forced to, like, find, like, the bright side of life when it gets hard. And not that things have been okay lately on the chronic illness front, knock on wood. But
you just played yourself, like, big dog. What are you thinking?
I know. Nah.
What are you thinking?
It's already garbage fire. It's fine. But It has taught me so much about being mindful and slowing down. Like, and just like I have journaled more than what I have like in years. I'm actually for like I'd like to typically jump from journal to journal based on like how I'm feeling. Like sometimes I keep like 5 different journals and I'll write in one day and write in one in another. But this year I have like stuck to one journal and it is almost all filled out and I am like ridiculously proud of myself. And I
Hell
think
yeah,
that's
girl.
just oh yeah, just being channeling all this stuff into one journal has really helped. And then also like spending time like doing stuff that feels good to me, like spiritually, like spending time with my guides, doing some like tarot pulls, or just like
Right.
literally one of my favorite things to do right now, probably not right now because as I said the pollen looks like snow, is going and just like sitting in my backyard and don't have my phone, don't have anything going, and just sitting and just being for like 10 minutes. And that has meant the world to me. You know, you get vitamin D, you get some meditation in, you connect with
She's
the
not
earth,
getting
you
that
ground.
vitamin D anywhere else. Sorry. Sorry.
Lesbian joke. Lesbian joke.
Sorry.
No, that was a good one. That was a good
Thank
one.
you.
I like it. That was funny. I'm gonna tell us that one Scarlet later. But no, like on the bright side, I have learned a lot about, you know, being mindful and listening to my body, like being forced to listen to my body this past
Mhm.
year. And I don't know, it's just been on my mind. Like I think the journal, like looking at my journal this morning was like oh, look at me. I'm about to buy a new one.
Look at you go, girl.
So, Robyn, what is not stirring your cauldron right now? I sound so sexy and so hot.
Thank you so much for asking. You do. And knowing that your child is in the same room as you is probably so funny.
They're shaking their head and
Wow. Listen, here's the dealio, Rue. Your mom and I are allowed to kiss, hold hands, caress each other fondly. Okay? It's our
they're
life's
doing
work and our
they're giving
prerogative.
thumbs down.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what is not stirring my cauldron this week is what I kind of touched on earlier, which is that I'm seeing a resurgence of the god spousing level BS on the internet, and just really making magic seem like this big fantasy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, being very authoritative on topics where I'm like, oh, you don't even know what the definition of that is, and yet you're being so authoritative. I saw one the other day that was like, I'm a Viking. What was it? It was like, I'm a Viking because my ancestors were Vikings or something like that, right? And I'm like, a Viking is a job. Like, a Viking was a job. Like, oh yeah, are you raping and pillaging people as well? Like, what are you saying? When you say that, you don't even know what a Viking is, clearly. Like, I am this because I came from this. It's like, are you like, I know that in my family that we were a bunch of mechanics for since cars have existed. Nobody's surprised that the Mexican is a bunch of family has a bunch of mechanics. But does that mean I'm a mechanic?
Yes.
Like, hello, use your fucking head. Like, it was a job
Answer is
title.
yes.
What are you saying? Like, what are you saying? And they're like,
See,
I have this authority over this because my ancestors were this, and it's like, that's hello? Somebody's ancestors was also the candlestick maker. Like, what are you saying right now?
this always happens like during chaotic times or times of trouble. Like people turn to witchcraft and they have a
Right.
little, because things are so chaotic, they have like the little touch of the spiritual psychosis. And, you know, unfortunately, we have our phones at our fingertips. So, like, it's really easy to, like, you know, pop off on the internet.
Right. Just people
When you have
are
an
so
opinion.
wild and out of pocket. And I think that they all need to just relax. Everybody needs to relax. We all need to have a little sip of reality juice and just calm the fuck down. Like,
There's
I swear
nothing
to
wrong
God,
with like
I'm gonna start.
romanticizing your practice, you guys.
Right,
Like,
but
chill.
there's a line in the sand. There's a line in the sand between romanticizing your practice and then just being like a dick on the internet. Like,
They're
that
cult
literally took
leaders,
me out. She
Robyn.
was like,
They're
"Oh, I'm
aspiring
not a
cult
Viking.
leaders.
I'm not a Viking because of X, Y, and Z. I'm a Viking because that's what my ancestors were." And like the comments were like stairs in Scandinavian, like shit like that. Like it was literally a girl like called Brittany from Connecticut. Like, shut up. Like, you shut up. Just stop it. Anyway, I don't want to get too, because I'll just be bullying if I continue at this point. But it's a job title, folks. Like, I'm a candlestick maker because my ancestors were candlestick makers. Fucking what? Anyway. If you've just joined us this week, every week we talk about creators that we are loving right now. This is anybody from shops, Instagrams, books, artists, accounts. It doesn't really matter. Just something that we found, we love, we think you guys might love. They are not paid advertisements. And we have a listener submission. And if you have got a creative that you think that the community would love to hear, we would love to share them. So shoot us a DM, send us an email. We would love to promote them. That being said, Maria, who are you into right now?
Oh my gosh. Stupid TikTok. I swear to God. But this came across my screen and I screamed. But it's desktop farms and they're like little little just farms that you can have like on your counter and stuff like that. And they have like mini houses with mini trees. It's like having Stardew Valley, like just sitting on your counter. They are so cute, and you could make
I've seen that
microgreens and stuff in them. Like they're so beautiful and so cute. I love them so much. I want one.
I think I've seen that. That's really cute.
How about you?
My choice this week is actually a really small creator that I just stumbled upon, but it looks like 8 million people stumbled upon this video as well. The creator's called Knee Patches, and they have a video where they are doing a shell cleaning. And a lot of us have like utilized shells in witchcraft. And it's a video on basically how to clean your shells so that way all those beautiful colors come out. And I just thought it was like a really practical and useful video for a lot of us that utilize shells in spell work to make them as beautiful as possible. Like, it was just a good functional video. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, and just
look at
I
that.
never knew that, and so I thought that was, I don't know, I thought it was really clever, and I thought that at least somebody is going to listen to this and be like, I would like to know how to clean my shells. So there's that video. Our listener choice this week is a potter. What is the word I'm looking for here? Pottery maker?
Potter, right?
Potter. Called Throw and Grow Ceramics. They do, like, specifically what we were sent were some cauldrons that they do that are really, really beautiful. Yeah, I thought they were super cool. I don't know.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, really, really jazzed on it.
No, these are great. I love them. They're pretty.
Yeah, so I don't know, go check them out. And as a reminder, if you've got a creative that you would love to share with us, especially right now when we are putting all of our love, energy, and dollars into small businesses because fuck capitalism, send us your shops. We would love to see them, or your accounts, artists, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We hope to see you again on Friday, March 28th for our next Coffee Talk episode, or on April 4th for the 5th episode of Season 6. You can keep an eye out on our social media or head to our website, coffeeandcauldrons.com, to find out more information and see what we are up to. And don't forget to join us March 29th for our class with Surrey Vincent Plouffe on Queering the Runes. This is a Brighter Library Tiered Up. We hope to see you there.
And we also have individual classes. We'll have this individual class for sale. So if you don't want to join the whole Discord, Patreon, you can just take that class. Just come do that class. But anyways, additionally, our Patreon Magical Beginnings offers our special 25-minute part 2 episode, a huge library of articles about witchcraft, a Discord community full of fun events and discussions, and we even have tiers that offer one-on-one conversations with Robyn and myself. And if you like one time, if you want to do mentorship, that's fine. Or the next time you want to do have a tarot reading done by, one of us, yeah, we have that as an option. So come check it out.
Get in there, join us.
Yeah.
And please, if you are loving our sexy, sensual, chef's kiss voices, take a moment to review us from whatever streaming service that you are tuning in from, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify or somewhere else. We love reading your reviews and rating us with 5 stars, but really rating us at all helps us to be seen by others. So thank you for everybody who already has and everyone who will in the future. We appreciate it. And as always, a massive thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Without you, none of this is possible.
Yeah, so again, this is Coffee and Cauldrons.
With Robyn from At a Tired Witch Everywhere.
And I'm Maria from Magic with Maria Everywhere.
Ready? Are you ready? 1,
1,
2, 3.